Hey everyone, welcome to Act 3 of the Gearless Monk with just a crude bow. You may have noticed, I don't know if I showed the inventory in the second video, but I got a second crude bow, and that's so I can start doing offhand stuff with the weapon sets. And eventually I'm going to want to grab curse stuff for casting my curses, obviously, so they're slightly more efficient. And it says I have 8 points, so what I'm probably going to end up doing is grabbing the 8 points here and here. I don't know how many I'll have by the time I get to that point, but yeah, that should be quite nice to have. Other than that, we're going to go through Act 3. Of course, we already know Act 3 literally has nothing to do for like a good hour, and then suddenly stuff happens, and then it's over. And I guess I'll just speed up some footage if I have to, or just see you guys at the next boss. I didn't explain the weapon set super well in the previous clip. Basically, you cannot use the weapon set passive points if you have nothing in your offhand, which I find kind of stupid. Like, realistically, I should be able to use my offhand nothing as a weapon set, but they don't allow you to do that. And I don't know why, but that's basically why I needed to have a second crude bow in order to do my curse setup plus my chaos damage setup. Alright, I'm going to speed through the start of Act 3 because nothing really happens and just give the spark nose to everyone. I tickled a giant four-armed gorilla while he tried to hit me with his massive throw pillow. This rewarded me with 2 passive points. I ran to the infested barrens and found a level 9 uncut skill gem which allowed me to return to town and grab Despair finally. I added heightened curse support to Despair after spending way too much time looking at the support gem screen. I ran through 90% of the infested barrens to find a Bog, Mural wetlands, and the waypoint in each area, including the infested barrens. I returned to the Venom Crypts to grab the Venom Drought of Clarity for some mana regen. Finally, I went to the Hooded Figure and respec'd my tree to have a curse setup and a damage setup. I gave up the +1 levels to the curse, but this really didn't matter once I got to level 10 skill gems for Despair. Okay, now we're on to Xyclucian. This boss took me quite a while because of my low DPS. Basically, this boss can apply a ton of ground effects that are very annoying, and they do stay for an extremely long time. However, I found a cheese for the boss where you just left the stone pillar up near the stairs, and you could kind of just camp near his spot where he lands, and you can just keep hitting him, and it takes forever, but eventually I got him down this way. Every other way I did it, I kept getting just shotgunned, or I'd play something wrong, or he'd just get too many ground effects, and it just got too chaotic. But if you let him keep landing on the pillar, you have time for the ground effects to disappear, and you're good. Alright. That was a freaking long fight, but it's done. Alright, so next we have Blackjaw to get our 10 fire res as a reward from killing this boss. The problem with this boss really is that you just have to stay in melee range. If you go beyond melee range, he starts doing long range slams and it's just very dangerous. So I had to play this boss in melee range, and I still had a very bad wither application skill, which was the frickin' freezing salvo. And I hate myself so much at this point for not just switching to Dark Effigy this early on, but I didn't switch to this until much later, and it would have made this fight incredibly easy compared to what it is, but here we are. Nice.
That thing, it fought with the ire of a mortal man.
Okay, next we have Zicoatl, which doesn't really have that many advanced mechanics. There's just his triangle attack I need to make sure to avoid, and then the barrage of lasers coming off of the walls. And then other than that, the boss is extremely simple. Okay, first try. Some of you may have noticed I did not do Ignagduk yet in this run, and I can tell you I tried. This character's damage is so incredibly low that the witch's second phase is insane, and if you do not end the fight relatively quickly in this phase, you will just die every time. For those who have not ever noticed, the boss becomes enraged in the second phase and starts casting her spells much faster, and on top of that, the boss dashes everywhere and puts up flame walls. If I tried to stall the fight with life flames, then I would usually get caught in Ignagduk's bone cage and just torched. Because of all of this, I put off the fight for a long time. It didn't come back until after the Queen of Filth. The Queen of Filth took me a surprisingly long time to defeat, but it was probably mostly because I was still using Freezing Salvo to apply my Wither stacks. Again, if I was just using Dark Effigy at this time, I probably would have beat her within 10-20 minutes, but it took me an hour and 20 minutes, and I ended up resorting to the method that I used on my unarmed warrior in order to defeat her, which was jamming her into the corner on this side here and rolling every time she attacks, while also keeping up my damage over time effects on the boss the entire time.
I need mana.
Oh, I got her finally. Holy crap.
You were not worthy.
As I said, I put off Ignagduk until now, and I was hoping the levels I had gained for my character and skills would help beat this boss, but it was still close. I also forgot about the insane bug that Ignagduk has currently when casting her flamethrower attack. This bug causes a ton of cold damaged explosions to start spawning at a seemingly random location in the boss arena, and they do damage. The main thing that probably helped with this boss was actually just the increased health pool, because I didn't manage to find an upgraded flask before this fight. So the life flames I was grabbing were giving me slightly more health during the fight, which obviously helps if I get ignited or something. Alright, Jesus Christ, that bug is a little bit insane. Next, I went to try and beat Ketzuli for around an hour, and then gave up and went to the Trial of Chaos. I've already ranted enough about how much I hate this content for a few reasons, and it's not just because of how hard it is to do with no gear, so I'll not do that in this video. I have started using a strategy when I open the trial on this kind of character, where I go in, check the mods, if they are not good, I leave the trial and close it and open it again. This is tedious, but it saves so much time in the long run. By guaranteeing the first mod is a good mod for my character, the trial will always tend to go more smoothly, and it will not take a stupid amount of time. It took around 2 hours to complete the trial, and it was mainly because I got the Vomit Bird boss 3 out of the 5 times that I got to the end of the trial, and it takes around 10 to 20 minutes to finish a trial on this kind of character. After I finally got the Chimera boss, I just took it slow and let it fly away constantly while I did chip damage from afar, and this allowed me to finally obtain my 2 ascendancy points. Oh god. Oh. So I ended up putting my ascendancy points here into Lucid Dreaming, which doubles the effect and duration of Flames of Chula. This would increase the healing I gained from Life Flames and the mana from Mana Flames. The Chaos thing I didn't really care about, which is probably the main point of this, but I just wanted to be able to sustain longer in boss fights without having to use potions. On my way back to fight Ketzuli, I decided to grind for an extra level, just to get some extra curse effect before the fight. I was doing so much more damage on Ketzuli now by having my Dark Effigy apply Wither, that I was able to skip some of Ketsuli's phases altogether. On top of that, I was getting so much more health when I grabbed a Life Flame now that I was able to use way less flasks. Because of my increased power, I beat the boss in my first try after coming back.
You will not leave, even a corpse. Touch of Kopek, the gaze of Eval. Euphoria. Your very soul reduced to ash. Witness.
Nice. So Viper wasn't that bad overall. It took me around half an hour, which is quite a while for saying it's not bad. But I ran into multiple bugs during this fight. Number one was the 360 into an instant attack bug, and another one, she flew out of the arena, but I was lucky enough that she came back into the arena for the kill. The only other thing that was causing me problems was my skill at dodging Arakali's web. This is the attack where Viper goes into the air and starts making the spearmen jab poisonous spears towards the middle of the arena. I typically got caught by the last part of this attack where all the spearmen start jabbing their spears in a row. I don't know if it was me standing too close to the spearmen or just a major skill issue with dodging this attack, but eventually I beat the fight.
Bow to your queen or die! I will not relent! You will fall before us! Ali's web! Ali's web!
No way! She bugged through the wall, dude!
Crush you, insect! Serpent bite!
Okay, I actually beat her after she bugged through the wall. Thank God. Time for the final fight of Act 3, Doryani. There isn't much to say about this fight. I just stayed away from the first phase and went into melee range for the second phase as much as possible. The whole fight took around 6 minutes, which is not too bad actually. And to be honest, I feel I can get quite a bit more damage out of this character once I get the nearby Chaos nodes and get level 3 support gems.
There is no escape.
I need mana.
Now you're within my grasp. Burn to ash, demon of Xyclucian. I've been preparing for you for years. How foolish.
Oh, that's what that attack is. Dude, there's so many attacks you never see as a high DPS character.
Burn to ash, demon of Xyclucian. You think you can run? Ravaging power! I've been preparing for you for years. Let me show you what true intellect looks like. You think you can run?
Oh god. As usual, I have to leave it here for now because Acts 4, 5, and 6 are not out. But if you guys liked it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll just leave you guys seeing my passive tree, at least whatever I showed of it at the end here. I have 3 characters left, which are the Witch, Mercenary, and Ranger, and I'm looking forward to making unique builds for all of them. So I hope everyone joins me in those adventures. Bye for now.